In the 80s and 90s, beat-em-ups became really popular at the arcades. The prospect of having up to 4 players, who were probably all strangers to each other, teaming up and fighting waves of nameless thugs and massive end-level bosses on a machine that was likely to be covered in fag ash and smelling of fish and chips, might seem like an odd notion to the kids today. But for those of us who remember those days, we remember them fondly. When the noughties came along, the beat-em-up disappeared for a few years. Oh sure, there were attempts to bring the genre back, like Fighting Force and Gekido Urban Fighters on the PlayStation, but these just turned out to be a massive disappointment. Thank goodness for Xbox Live then, because that, along with the Wii's Virtual Console and the PS3's PlayStation Network, you know, when it's actually working, have now brought these blasts from the past back with a vengeance, and even introduced some new contributions to the genre. Okay, let's just clarify. When I say beat-em-ups, I don't mean fighting games. Oh no, the likes of the Street Fighter type games have got that covered. What I'm talking about is old school, side-scrolling, arcade-style gameplay. I'm talking punches, kicks, doing the odd special move when you're surrounded by bad guys, following flashing arrows till you need to go, and of course, eating food out of bins without miraculously becoming violently sick. This is the Big Daddy D's Top 10 Beat-em-Ups on Xbox Live. Number 10. Take those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Hero Turtles as it was known as in Blighty due to the word ninja being deemed to be a tad too harsh for our sensitive European ears, and throw in the concept of time travel. Now what you've got is one of the greatest beat-em-ups ever. So why then did we get Turtles in Time re-shelled for Xbox Live when the original would have been better? Because Ubisoft modified the game so much for its own good, it doesn't even play like the original game anymore. I wouldn't have minded if you had the option to switch between the original and the re-shelled versions of the game, but no, we don't get that. Had we gotten access to the original, this would have been a lot higher on the list. Fortunately, as it stands, this is an unnecessary and badly thought out remake that can only manage the number 10 spot. No! Number 9. Next up, it's some old school hack and slash action from Sega. Choose between a Conan the Barbarian type in blue pants, a badass dwarf with a giant axe and a heck of a backhander, or the seemingly obligatory scantily clad large-breasted Amazon. It's up to you to fight the forces of Death Adder across 6 levels of swords, monsters, dragons breathing fire, magic, and of course kicking the shit out of those annoying little elf bastards. The Mega Drive version of the game, with its 2 additional levels, can be found on the Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. But if you're willing to shell out the Microsoft points, you can get the original arcade version of the game, with slightly better graphics, some of the best digitised death streams in video game history, that were apparently sampled from Conan the Barbarian and Rambo First Blood, and of course, lashings of blood and gore. It's all good. A couple of sequels followed, but the original remains the best, and don't get me started on the attempted reboots.
By my balls, girl!
Number 8. One of the granddaddies of the beat-em-up genre, the original arcade version of Double Dragon still remains the best game of the entire franchise. Not difficult really, considering that the sequels couldn't even get the fucking character's name right. Oh, and that it also spawned a god-awful movie and animated series as well. But don't let that put you off. The original arcade version is now on Xbox Live, so you can see for yourself the great face-punching action, the fights against Big Bossa Bobo, the chicks that whip your ass, literally, and of course, Marion, the kidnapped girlfriend, having the 2 brothers fight each other to the death at the end of the game, with the winner getting to sample her poo-tang. Jesus Christ, what a skank, eh? Clearly the phrase, bros before hoes, doesn't count here. Number 7. One of the best parts of going down the arcade was that you could have up to 4 people all playing the same game. The X-Men arcade went that little bit further though. Not content with just having a 4-player cabinet, Konami also had a 6-player cabinet made as well. Oh yes. And now, thanks to Xbox Live, you can relive those days of 6-person sentinel ass-kicking action, as up to 6 people can play this game with you either local or online. Who said that video games don't encourage social interaction? Also memorable for this game was the laughably bad voice acting.
X-Men, welcome to die!
Konami created a lot of side-scrolling beat-em-ups in the arcades based on licensed characters in the 90s, such as The Simpsons, Bucky O'Hare, and Asterix. So let's hope some of those make it to Xbox Live at some point as well. There was also those Ninja Turtle fellows as well, but we'll get onto those in a moment. Number 6. A more recent addition to the beat-em-up genre, Ubisoft brings the pages of the popular graphic novel to life with Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game. Pilgrim, his new girlfriend Ramona Flowers, and a couple of their friends are pitted against the League of Evil Exes, who want nothing more than to destroy Ramona's love life. This great game from Ubisoft features up to 4 players at once, 8-bit style graphics and music, and has dozens of references to other popular video games like Mario and Sonic. It's also been heavily influenced by other games on this list, such as Streets of Rage and Double Dragon, not to mention River City Ransom, where you literally beat the coin out of people's asses, and then spend them in the shops. Yay! Number 5. The most recent scrolling beat-em-up on this list to be added to Xbox Live is the HD remix of Guardian Heroes. Originally released for the Sega Saturn, and come on, who actually had one of those? This really didn't get the attention it deserved as a result of this, but now, thanks to Xbox Live, that can all be rectified. Guardian Heroes came from Treasure Software, who did for the scrolling beat-em-up what they did for the scrolling shoot-em-up with Gunstar Heroes and the platformer with Dynamite Headdy. As in, create something that was an absolute joy to play, brought a load of unique ideas to the genre, and kicked as much arse as possible. Guardian Heroes was different from other scrolling beat-em-ups in which it had a deep storyline that could change based on the choices you would make and the different paths you could take. Kind of like those old choose-your-own-adventure books. The different paths you took not only changed different parts of the story, encouraging you to replay the game over and over again, but it could also change the final boss. The game also had a number of RPG elements, up to 6 players playing at once, and a whopping 45 characters to play as, once you've unlocked them, which only increases the replayability even further. If that wasn't enough, you can also choose between playing the HD remix version of the game or the original with all of its old school pixelated goodness. Are you listening at the back of the class there, Turtles in Time? Number 4. Cowabunga, dudes! Forget the Turtles in Time remake, this is the Ninja Turtles game you should be downloading for your Xbox. It's a real bargain too, as the game is a mere 400 points, making this one of the best deals you'll find on the game marketplace. This 1989 arcade favourite gives you some great 4-player beat-em-up action across a number of stages ranging from streets to sewers before finally getting to the Technodrome. Along the way you'll fight off against Rocksteady, Bebop, Krang, Shredder and dozens of foot soldiers. You'll also need to rescue your sensei, Master Splinter, along the way, along with April O'Neil, who thanks the Turtles in her own special way. Ho-ho! When the turtle van is rocking, don't come knocking. Number 3. If you were a Mega Drive owner, then you swore by Streets of Rage. Originally created to compete against Final Fight being an exclusive for the Super Nintendo, Streets of Rage proceeded to outdo the SNES version of Final Fight on every level. But amazingly, Streets of Rage didn't even reach its peak until the second game. Rage 2 today remains one of the greatest beat-em-ups ever, and the music is still a blast to listen to, and the 4 characters all still play like a dream. Whether you choose punch-happy powerhouse Axel, good all-rounder Blaze, speedy Skate, or muscle-bound wrestler Max, you're gonna have a good time. Although you can play this game on the Ultimate Mega Drive collection, along with Rage 1 and 3, the Xbox Live version has slight graphical improvements and it has online co-op as well. Number 2. Capcom's classic beat-em-up Final Fight is on Xbox Live, and it's even better than ever. Not only is Final Fight Double Impact a pixel-perfect rendition of the arcade original, you can also play the game with original or remixed music, have it in original or smoothed-over graphics, play it in widescreen or within an old-school arcade cabinet. It really does set the standard for how you can bring over games to the modern era. That, and there's tons of bonus artwork to unlock. You can even watch an episode of that bloody awful Street Fighter cartoon that happens to have characters from Final Fight in it. And if that wasn't enough, Double Impact also comes with a second game, Magic Sword, to boot. Hopefully, Capcom will release some of its other arcade classics down the line, like Captain Commando perhaps. Metro City has been overrun by the Mad Gear Gang, and they've kidnapped the mayor's daughter Jessica for good measure. That's not a good move, considering that the mayor is an arse-kicking, muscle-bound former wrestler called Mike freaking Hager. Teaming up with Jessica's martial arts boyfriend Cody, along with ninja in training Guy, Hager cleans up the scum of the city in the only way he knows how, with fists, swords, pile drivers, and barbecue chicken. Oh yes. Okay, we're about to come to the number 1 spot, but first of all, let's count down the top 10 and have some Top of the Pops music going off in the background. At number 10, Turtles in Time, Reshelled. At number 9, Golden Axe. At number 8, Double Dragon. Number 7, X-Men Arcade. Number 6, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the Game. Number 5, Guardian Heroes. At number 4, Turtles 1989 Arcade. At number 3, Streets of Rage 2. And at number 2, Final Fight, Double Impact. So here we go with number 1. Finally, we save the best till last with the Behemoth's mega smash hit, Castle Crashers. This game has everything you could ever want from a classic side-scrolling beat-em-up and much more besides. Online and local co-op play, huge boss battles, bonus characters to unlock including Alien Homid, tons of weapons, dozens of special moves to dispatch your foes with, and even plenty of funny moments too. Not to mention, this game will actually provide quite a hefty challenge, so don't expect to finish this game quite so quickly as the other games on this list. This is the greatest scrolling beat 'em up on Xbox Live, and if you haven't downloaded it yet, what are you waiting for? Go do it! Until next time, this is the Big Daddy D signing out. Goodbye.